I indicated that I would be engaging regularly with media. This being our first engagement, this may be rather lengthy, but I hope that you would indulge me in sharing with you some of the thoughts that came to me over this period. I therefore thought it prudent to call this media session today to reflect on my first year in office as the National Commissioner and to share with you my thoughts about the future direction of this important institution. The South African Police Service is one of the key organs of government, and we are consequently accountable to the people of this country, South Africa. I was appointed on the 12th of June, 2012. And as I reflect on the past year, I realize that my views about police have been reaffirmed. Back then, it was just a perception, but now, what I've observed, I consider a reality. And why do I say that? I do want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, policing is a tough and often thankless job. And I suppose it is very similar for everyone in the public sector. But I want to believe that policing is made much more difficult by its complexities and the risks that are involved in the profession. Some of our beloved colleagues, as I speak to you, have paid the highest price possible as a direct consequence of their belief in the ideas of the service. As I came in, I took time to visit many areas in this country. I've already visited all the 9 provinces, and wherever my schedule allows me, I visit local police stations. In many ways, the hundreds of men and women in blue that I've interacted with so far regard their work as a calling. The police service is a well-resourced institution with highly skilled officers and officers who value their work. And most of them are selflessly and intensely committed to the communities that they serve. Theirs is to safeguard the community's right to life and property and to protect them against lawlessness. Their blood is blue, just as mine has become. These men and women are our light of hope. I will ensure that the light shines brightly for everyone to see the good work they do in safeguarding our country and its people. 2 months after my appointment, the nation had to grapple with the Marikana tragedy. And I have no doubt that we will still reflect on it in the future for a very long time. This tragic event gave me a rapid but thorough understanding of our operational environment. In a way, it hastened my orientation into police. I've therefore, in a short time span, learned a lot about what policing is about. I want to move to a space that had been greatly written upon and highly commented upon. Many people have remarked about the fact that I'm not a career cop, and therefore I should not be the one leading this complex organization. After 1 year, I now know for sure that management of the police is not different from management of many organizations that I've worked for. The same management principles are involved in the banking sector. The same management principles are involved in parastatals. They are involved in NGOs. They are involved in mining companies, retail stores. And these management principles are applicable equally to the police. I want to say to you, I know of police that have been very successful that are non-police. And I want to single out a man I've known who has been very capable, who has actually represented us very well as police, Lieutenant General Petrus, who is a good example of this. He's an excellent maths teacher, but he made wonders out of policing. Many of you have seen my CV and would therefore have an appreciation of my management experience. I'm what you can term a general manager. You can give me any organization, no matter how small, no matter how big. I have all the requisite leadership qualities, the management skills, and the abilities to steer the organization. I want to reiterate what I shared with the top 1,500 management that I met early in January. For the very first time in the history of the South African Police Service, I invited 1,500 leaders in the service. And these include leaders from the station to the cluster, to the province, right through to national. And the reason why I invited them was to engage them as leaders so that we can agree as leaders where we are taking the organization. And when I met with them, I indicated to them that I'm not in this organization just for a salary and a job, but that I'm in SABS for a higher purpose of joining the many loyal and patriotic South Africans that are contributing towards building a strong and successful country. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to be a career cop to understand that to have properly functioning police stations, you need network points, not just computers. We have invested in buying computers, equipment that we require to deliver our services in the police service. But we also realized that we have challenges in terms of some of the facilities we require, such as cabling and network points. And it is for that reason that I say you do not need to be a career cop to understand that. My role as a leader is to ensure that we reorganize our resources so that we can prioritize that which we have to prioritize. Cable the police stations. And we have taken a commitment as leaders that in the next 2 years, we shall roll out full cabling to ensure that the computers that we're buying, we're able to use, the technology that we want to mount to ensure that we have a technology-savvy organization realizes. And to do this, again, I want to say, you just need to know how to lead, manage, and organize yourself in the organization. I'm doing this, ladies and gentlemen, because the stations are the heartbeat of policing. if they are neglected and allowed to become dysfunctional, then we will never achieve the goals we have set ourselves. The world we work in has become complex. We need commanders with broad understanding of people management. We need commanders with leadership and financial management skills. We need commanders with knowledge of the law, because we are an organization that operates in that sphere. We need commanders with a fair and good understanding of political, social, and economic landscapes. Police management is more than just giving instructions, and this is particularly important within our democratic dispensation. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that my term of office is about going back to the basics, laying a foundation for future policing in South Africa as outlined in the National Development Plan, and setting up supporting structures for what we need to achieve. Together with the management team that is capable, able, willing, and available, we will reignite the passion. We will reignite the sense of pride. We will re-energize police officers from station level upwards. Let me tell all of you here, a police station is the most important unit in the administration of policing. It is at the police station that the public are most in touch with the police, and the police with the public. The public expectations from the police can only be fulfilled if the public are satisfied with the integrity, the professionalism, the fortitude, the impartiality, and promptness of the service rendered by the police station. It is at this juncture that I want to say one of the focus areas that we shall be having during my leadership is to ensure that the police station becomes the nexus of our service delivery. And this is why our minister has even declared the next coming 2 years the year of the frontline service. If we do not get the police station right as police, we shall not be able to get our service right. So as I talk to you today, I would like to say to you, indeed, we are very committed, and we've taken a resolution to ensure that those platforms of delivery do what they're supposed to be doing. I'm also, by the same breath as I talk to you, sharing with you the fact that in addition, we're looking at ensuring that we take leadership to those localized levels. We're in the process of ensuring that we redefine and reposition our clusters, which are closer to the police stations, because those clusters are like your line function in any business, and your line function is your business actually pumps for. I'm also proud of our successes. This demonstrates our commitment to delivering service excellence to every sector of our constituency. It is not generally considered and realized that SABC is South Africa's largest single employer. With about 200,000 staff members and an annual budget of 68 billion, you would realize that as the leadership of this organization, we have a very serious task before us. The successes that you read about quite often, or that you less read about, include a significant increase in the number of arrests for all manner of crimes successes in terms of stolen vehicles, recovery of drug-related arrests, and confiscation. We're not beating the drum loudly enough. While the public's attention tends to be focused on our shortcomings, there is an imbalance in providing exposure to our achievements. We shall take time to engage you, members of the media, to also give you that exposure that we think we are shortchanging you on. For instance, there has recently been a significant improvement in terms of our forensic support and investigations. We have built state-of-the-art forensic laboratory, and we are ranked very high in the world in terms of our offering in that space. We have a fully resourced detective environment. And over the past year or so, we have successfully concluded what we call a year of the detective. During that period, as we're getting to the close of it, for the first time in the history of SABC, I've hosted 600,000 detective commanders so that we can deliberate and come up with serious plans that are going to assist to improve this environment. Our resolve during that engagement was that we should continue to tackle crime head-on. Our success rests on two major changes. We will soon begin the process of bringing retired detectives back into the service to assist us, because we believe that their skill, their expertise can continue to do something for us. They will also help us in mentoring and coaching our detectives. Furthermore, specific areas that have been achieved in terms of turnaround include visible policing. By whatever measure, by whatever means, police are visible in South Africa. Over the past 6-8 years, we've managed to increase our visible policing quite significantly. We've made sure that these police are resourced. We in the police service have resourced our members. We have over 50,000 cars for our police, boasting a ratio of 1-4 in terms of resourcing our visible police. These successes are seriously assisting us in our battle and fight against crime. This is why we are able to mount a serious sketch on crimes such as drugs, particularly in poorer communities. You would have seen what our province in Gauteng is doing, and we're seeking to roll out all these special efforts elsewhere in the country. When considering how these successes have been achieved, it is more and more apparent that community involvement and commitment plays an increasingly important role in any and every policing initiative. The work done by the policing forums, and today I saw here the chairperson of the policing forum of Gauteng. Thank you very much, Tate Mashaili, for joining us. The work done by these forums, as well as ordinary citizens, indeed show that it is invaluable for us to cherish partnerships. This is because I believe firmly that someone, somewhere, somehow knows something about crime in this community. And it is for that reason that we shall always invite those that are in the know to reach out to us as police so that we can be able to do our job and assist the communities and keep crime out of our space. It is no secret that SABC faces many, many challenges. After a year at the helm, I can confidently say that I have a real good appreciation of the challenges that the organization is facing. I'm certainly not going to attempt to itemize all of these challenges today. However, I'm going to address some of those that I feel are most critical for informing an effective transformation process. Let me start off by saying, I do believe that leadership is a very important change aspect. Leadership is not the sole responsibility of the national commissioner or the provincial commissioner or the divisional commissioner or the station commander. It is a team effort. There is a need to cultivate a culture of robust, frank engagement at all levels of leadership within the organization. I shall be focusing on changing the department's methods and mindset. The first step is to draw leaders close into the planning process. SABC should be an organization of inclusion, where people are not afraid to come up with innovative ideas. The most important reform we are making at this point in time is also localization of the leadership focus. It is important for us that we devolve power to the clusters and the station commanders if we are to be successful. These local leaders need genuine power and authority. The clusters and stations, as I've already indicated, are the primary units of policing. As I've said, they are equivalent to what we call corporate line managers. The cluster commanders effectively run what amount to a miniature police department, because they are a miniature police department in a local area. And if we don't give power, ability, real authority to those forums, then we shall be failing ourselves as the police. Secondly, I think key decisions must be informed by strategic thinking and deliberations. Appropriate structures must be put in place in order to create a conducive environment. This will lead to a collective ownership of programs and initiatives. In the pack that you will receive, you will see some of the governance structures that we have put in place, because policing does require governance. I always say to my team members that it's a bifocal environment. You need a very sharp focus on crime, whilst at the same time you need to have a very sharp focus on governance, administration, and compliance, so that you support those that are out there to focus on crime. To be effective, we need to channel palpable passion for the badge and the uniform that we wear. We must channel that passion in the right direction by forming strong multidisciplinary teams with those that are willing to work with us and assist us, with good-hearted and big-hearted volunteers and community members that are willing to come forward and assist us to fight crime. There is a lot of goodwill within the organization, but there are instances that generate ill will. And this often overshadows the good work that is performed on a daily basis. The issues of ill will include unlawful unrest, investigation of fellow police officers by fellow colleagues, and a number of acts that I would call really reckless and nonsensical. And when this happens, I'd like the public to know that as leaders and as police, we would like to be judged not on those deeds, but would like to be judged on what we do when that happens. And you can rest assured that when we get to know that such acts of ill will are happening, such nonsensical acts are happening, we as the leadership of the police shall act. to turn SABC around requires robust leadership. I've said to my colleagues that the nature of leadership that we should have is leadership that is accountable, is leadership that is courageous, is leadership that is receptive to new ideas, and is leadership that is visible. We must learn to be counted for the good and the bad of our service. We have to remake SABC into an effective, focused organization. We need a sharp eye on crime. We have to develop a strategy and tactics that would prevent and uproot crime rather than react to it. By so saying, I'm meaning, whereas people come to the station to report crime, you will see more of us going out in the street to reclaim that space on behalf of the nation. We will be taking this opportunity for me to introduce to you the new leadership, because part of going forward, I thought it would be prudent for me really to sharpen our structure, to fleet our structure in a manner that allows me to have a team that would be able to help me lead the organization into achieving its objectives. At this point in time, I just want to take this opportunity to introduce you to our new structure, how we've reorganized our functions, as well as some of the people that I am appointing to be part of the leadership team that shall be assisting me. I'm not sure whether they, okay. I'm not sure whether you have my slide, then I can look at it so that I can deal with are the members joining me on the screen? Okay, let me then continue and just introduce the leadership. I'm sure they will give you a copy of that. I thought they had put up the slides for you. Okay. In the South African Police Service, I found in that space 6 deputy national commissioners. We have refined that process. What I'm going to introduce to you are 3 deputy national commissioners. I've consolidated the functions. We're going to have a function that consolidates and integrates all operational policing functions. And all those operational policing functions will be taken into one stream of offerings, all our operations in terms of technical and tactical policing. For that, we shall have a Deputy National Commissioner for Policing Operations. The second area that has been consolidated is the area that I would refer to as resourcing, administration, and finance. That area will consolidate everything that has got to do with our administration, that has got to do with our finance, that has got to do with our procurement or SCM, that has got to do with our technology management as well as facilities management. That area shall be led by a Deputy National Commissioner for Finance and Administration. The third area that also has been consolidated to bring all primary support functions together shall be called Corporate Management Services. That shall consolidate all functions that have got to do with human resources, human resource development, strategy management, legal services, and all areas that are related to support. We are introducing, for instance, in that area, a brand new area called integrity management. Because whereas we police and deal with issues corruption, fraud, theft, conflicts outside the organization, we are having a dedicated function that will be focusing inward to the organization. And for that, we shall set up a separate entity, integrity management, so that charity should start at home. For us to be able to police, we should also make sure that we prepare ourselves to be straight and upright, and that we can go out there and offer our services, having made sure that we've swept our own house. I shall also be touching in my introduction of this new structure some minor changes or a few changes that have been made on the provinces as delivery platforms. Perhaps let me start off with the provinces. I shall start with the province that we are in, which is the province of Gauteng. I want to take this opportunity to express on behalf of the 200,000 members of the South African Police Service our very sincere appreciation to a son of the soil, a man who has led this province and the province of the Western Cape with gusto, with excellence, with leadership that in my book was unparalleled. I take this opportunity on behalf of SABC, and I believe the nation and the citizens of both Gauteng as well as the Western Cape. We wish to express our sincere thanks for the sterling work that was done by General Petros. As he bids us farewell, we want to say to the entire South African public that if indeed there is a sample cop, that is General Petros. As he exits, we will be replacing him with another commissioner. The other area that I will be touching on in terms of the operational platforms from a provincial point of view is the area of Limpopo, where we are going to introduce a new provincial commissioner for Limpopo, and we will also be touching on the province of Free State, where we'll be introducing a new provincial commissioner. Let me start off with the Deputy National Commissioner for Police Operations. I take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you our very brand new Deputy National Commissioner for Policing Operation, Lieutenant General Ketla John Sithole. I hereby appoint General Ketla Sithole as the Deputy National Commissioner, Policing Operations. He's been with the police since 1986, with over 27 years as a career cop. General Sithole has come up the ranks of the police from being a constable in 1986 to being appointed a provincial commissioner for Free State in 2011. And General Sithole has a wealth of knowledge and experience and has done numerous management training programs, both within and without the police. The second Deputy National Commissioner that we're appointing, the Deputy National Commissioner for Resource Management, Finance Administration, Procurement and Technology Management, is Lieutenant General Stephanus Johannes Paulus Skete. General Skete has 13 years of experience in SABC, but most importantly, he has, through his academic years, attained the following qualifications: an honors degree in public administration, an honors degree in business economics, a bachelor's degree in administrative management, and this is a CFO that has seen us through over 10 years of unqualified audits. The third Deputy National Commissioner, who's going to be in charge of our corporate service management, is going to be Lieutenant General Christabel Nobubele Bekela. General Bekela joined the South African Police Service on the 1st of November 2011 with more than 20 years of good service in many other areas. She has a Bachelor of Science, a Bachelor's degree of Education, a Master's of Education, and honors in Biophysics. And she has led our human resources development environment very ably, and we're looking forward for her consolidating services in the environment that we've appointed her. Let me then move to the provinces. We are moving from Polokwane, Lieutenant General Mbembe, who will now go and be the Provincial Commissioner of the Free State. General Mbembe also has been in the service for a very long time, since 1978, and has grown through the ranks up to being a Lieutenant General in 2011, appointed to Limpopo. He also has a wealth of experience and very good qualifications, a national diploma in police administration and a bachelor's degree in policy. To the province of Limpopo, we shall be appointing Lieutenant General Masemula as a Provincial Commissioner of Limpopo. With 26 years as a career cop, General Masemula has come up the ranks of the police from being a student in 1987 to becoming a Lieutenant General and a Deputy National Commissioner in 2010. General Masemula has successfully completed 18 courses in operations, management, and others, and also attained his higher diploma in police administration. In Gauteng, we shall be appointing the person who was recently a Major General and is now becoming a Lieutenant General, Major General Bethuel Monji Zuma. With almost 20 years as a career cop, General Zuma has come up the ranks of the police from being a constable from 30 September 1994 to becoming a Major General in April 2011. Major General Bethuel Zuma has a wealth of experience within the operational environment, as well as being a manager in the South African Police Service. He holds the following qualifications. He obtained a national diploma in policing, a bachelor's degree in policing, and a diploma in management. He has served the police very, very well, and I also think that he will take on the baton from the outgoing National Commissioner to ensure that this province continues to be safe. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the leadership changes that I'd like to introduce to you. I'd like to congratulate the new leaders who have been promoted and others who have taken on new responsibilities that I haven't announced as yet because I'm just finalizing some of the negotiations. We will be issuing a further statement just to talk about the placement of the others that I'm still in negotiation with. I wish to also take this opportunity once more and to emphatically thank Lieutenant General Petrus for being a loyal servant of the service. He is the epitome, as I've said, of a police professional officer. Today, in his last day as the Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng, we have to say to him, well done, General Petrus, and we wish you all well with your future endeavors. And we hope that your skills will not be lost to us, as we would still want to engage you on many other special initiatives. Let me conclude by saying that the changes I've introduced are not about individuals. They are about the interest of the organization and our country. There are many other issues which I could have addressed here, but I've elected to concentrate on the few key issues that I've shared. However, I'm determined to institute a process of public understanding of SABC's transformation, and the only way I can achieve that is through informing you, the media, and engaging you and ensuring that I'm accessible to answer the questions and inform you about what we are doing as an organization. I'm confident that you will all find this sufficiently worthwhile to report on the transformation of SABC in pursuit of this ideal. I commit to holding a quarterly media briefing, as I'm optimistic that rapid and meaningful changes in SABC will demonstrate the values of our refreshed approach to policing. And as I sign off, I want to say to you, it's going to be a long journey, but I close off as a very proud National Commissioner. Proud because we just came back from the SABCO Sports, where we were competing with all the SABCO countries, the SADC countries, in athletics, in soccer, in every other thing, in tennis, every other thing that you can think of. Zimbabwe got position 1 with 17 medals. We are a proud position 2 with 15 medals with Namibia. But guess what? We are the soccer champs of SADC. And Bafana can come and borrow the South African Police Service medals. Thank you very much.